Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video tutorial, we're going to be making the part 2 of the Quilted Tote bag we uploaded before now. So if you've not watched the part 1, please do go and watch the part 1 in order to follow up this video. Today's video is going to feature the zipper panel, how to fix the eyelet into the bag, how to fix the lock, and how to put the bag together. In order to fix this zipper panel to this lining, after you've notched here, so you're going to take your zipper panel, there's a notch here where the lining is, you are going to place it on the right side of the main panel, ensuring that the notch on the zipper panel matches with the notch on the main panel. You clip it in place like this. So I'm going to use 2 clips, and if you want, you can just base this in place. But if you can sew these 2 panels together. So once you've clipped this in place, you are going to take your asset panel, you place it, ensuring that the right side of your asset panel is facing the right side of your main panel. So you can use the same clips to hold them in place. I'm going to sew the zipper panel first to this, then I'll take my asset panel, right side facing the right side of main panel, then sew. Asset panel, ensuring that the right side is facing the right side of the main panel. So I'll sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'll back stitch first. Getting hard now. So here is it. So I'm going to top stitch here. So just use your hand to kind of smoothen the leather out. And back stitch. Just cut. Remember, we cut the asset panel to the excess, so I'm just going to trim off that excess. I'm just going to burn some of this thread off. There's the first one. So I'm going to make the second one just the same way I did this. I'm sewing the second one. So the right side of the second panel with this lining part of the zipper face down. Ensure the notches are aligned. Then base in place first. You can use your clips if that will be okay with you. I'm just going to base this in place. Then I'll take my asset panel with the right side facing the right side of the main panel. I'm just going to trim thread off. Just trying to trim. So I'm going to top stitch. Just top stitching now. Back stitch. Trim this off. Yeah. Okay. Before we fix our bottom panel to it, I'm going to sew on the side. I'm going to sew on the side of both the panels. Align this asset like this. You can clip. Okay. Align like this. You clip. I'm just going to sew on this with 1/4 inch seam allowance, trying to ensure it's aligned. Back stitch and still sewing at like 1/2 inch now. I'll back stitch here. Sewing the second side now. Next is to sew the bottom panel to it, just to get the marks. Just quickly notch, come to this and notch. I'm going to notch this too. Notch. So if you're a beginner, I'm very sure you're going to follow this. Make sure you notch around so that you wouldn't have problem trying to fit it in. So I'll take this notch part, I'll take this side and align it to it. You can clip in place. Then this notch part too, on this notch part of the main panel. Then this notch part on this part you clip. I'm just going to sew. So this is the right side and this is the right side of our external. So I'm going to put this one inside this, ensuring that the right side of this external is facing the right side of the zipper. I'm just going to push. This part of the bag, this part that was sewn on the side is aligned with this side of it. Then you can use your clips. You can just use your clips to hold them in place. Then I'll take these other parts, position them to be on top of each other like this. Then I'll clip. So if you have enough clips, you can just clip all around it. Sorry, I don't have enough clips. So I'm going to sew from here to here first. You can sew from the outside if you want. So you sew from where it's more comfortable for you. I'm just going to sew from the inside. Trying to align them. Back stitch. Your needle down if you want to make any adjustment. Just swing. Just going to turn it out from this opening. So you have to be careful. That's why it's important to top stitch severally. So I'm going to top stitch now on this. Out, thread sticking out. So I'm going to be fixing chain handle to this quilted bag. Chain handle I'm going to be using is this. This chain measures about 56 inches in length. So you can make it longer or shorter depending on what you want. I'm going to be using lock for this bag. I'm also going to be using eyelets, silver color. Since I'm using silver for everything. So I'm going to be using 4 feet. The eyelets actually come with it. I'm going to be using this hole puncher. This is size for this eyelet, size 14. Using this machine. This is called the eyelet machine. I'm going to be making some measurements from this point of the bag. I'll take about 3.5 inches. That's where I'll be placing my eyelet. So you can mark it with a pen and cross. Then I'll come to this other side. I'll do the same thing, 3.5. I'll mark with a cross. So I'll mark out this one too, 3.5 inches, in inches please, then 3.5 inches. I'm just going to take this plank, place the bag on the plank like this. I'm going to take the hole puncher, place it on that mark close to the top stitching I made. You can take about half an inch away from the top of the bag where you're going to place your puncher. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'll place this one on top like this, close to that stitch, and then I will hit it. Already punch a hole on it. So if it's not coming out, so you can use your scissors to kind of finish it. I'll take one of these eyelets, and this is the eyelet machine, and I'll take this one inside. There's a hole there. This one, I'll place it inside. Then I'll take this one that comes with it. Can you see it, guys? So this is the one that is going to face up. So this is like the front, and this is the back. So this other side is going to face down. Put it like this, okay? Hope you can see it. Then I'll come to my eyelet machine. This handle here, I'm going to press it down. That is going to secure it in place like this. So it's secured now. So this is very tight, and this is the back of it, okay? And I'm going to do the same to all the marked area. I'll just take this. So the hole is kind of a bit small for this eyelet, but that's what I want. Because if it's too big for the eyelet will just start falling out. I'm just going to place it on this machine like this. Then take this and place it inside like this. Done this side, remaining this other side. So this is our bag. So I'm just going to fuse the chain to it. So I'm going to take the chain, I'll pass it from one point to this other one. Okay, I'll take this, pass it from here to here. Okay, so if it's too long, you can always try it out. I think this one is too long. I want it to be shorter. You can always remove from the chains. Okay. This okay. I eventually took 50 for the length of this chain because it was too long. So next is to fix this lock to this bag. So guys, to fix the lock, I'm going to get the middle point on this bag. So I'll just measure from this to get the total on one side of the bag. This is about 15. So definitely the middle is going to be 7.5 inches. So I'm just going to measure, mark out 7.5 inches. I can also measure from here to ensure that it's actually 7.5. So this is also 7.5. So that point at which you have marked your 7.5, you just mark like ½ inch down to know where you're going to place the lock. you can just put a cross mark there. Open, and I'm going to be fixing this one first. Okay, so this comes in two, so it comes like this. Once you've gotten this middle mark, you are going to take your lock, which comes in two. This one is external, while this one is the one that is going to cover it behind it. So you take any of them, you bring it down at that mark that you've made. You place the middle of this one. You see the middle of this? You're going to place it at the middle of this mark that you've made. It shouldn't be at the same level with the edge of the bag, but it should be at least close to it. That will bring the beauty of the bag out. Guys, can you see this one I made? Can you see that the lock is kind of close to it, and I love the way it turns out. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain. Place the middle of this lock at the middle of the mark that you've made, and just hold it down and draw a kind of rectangular line on it like this. So this rectangular line is where I'm going to cut through. I'll take my seam ripper. I will start the cutting from this point. So just to poke a bit of hole there, because our cutting is going to start at that point, getting blunt. So I'll just start cutting. So I'm cutting on that line. Just gradually, don't be in haste, because this almost getting to the edge of making this bag. So at this point you have to be extremely careful not to make any mistake. So once you've done that, you can always take your lock, try and see if it fits into it like this. So once you discover that you can see some leather and line is still covering it, you can see it very well. So I'm going to trim off those parts of leather covering it to make it neater. So if the chain is getting on the way, you can remove the chain first to do your work. So I'm just trying to trim out this leather covering the surface. So you keep on trying to see that it's looking neat. Once you are satisfied with it, you're going to take this one here and come to the back, cover it up. Hope you can see it, guys. I'm just going to cover it with this. So fix one part of it. This one is very easy to fix. I've not finished sewing this part of the lining. The part we open to turn out the external part, because we are going to use it to fix this lock. So what you are going to do, guys, is take your pen. You're going to ensure that it's well aligned like this. Then you're going to draw like a cross mark on the middle. We're going to be using it as a guide. So once you've got to that cross mark, so you're going to take this one, you place the middle of this on the cross mark you made here, press. We want these props to kind of impart some marks on the bag. So once you've gotten these marks, use your pen to kind of emphasize the marks. From this opening, you put your hand into it. Note we are not going to be cutting through this part, just this part. So I'm going to be using my seam ripper, then cut some holes. Please, you cut tiny holes, not big holes, so because your lock is going to fall out if it's too big. If it's small, you can always keep cutting until you're able to get the right cut. So I'll just take this, pass it like this. Pass like this. Okay, then I'll press the prop down with my finger. So it's done. So guys, here is what we have. Can see how pretty, how beautiful this bag is. You need to see it. Like, it's so fine. This is the bottom. So what I'm going to do, the last stage is I'm going to be sewing that opening we left. This opening is the last stage, so I'm just going to be sewing it close. Fold, and top stitch on it. Back stitch first, top stitch, you get to the end, back stitch. One of the thread. This is a bag. There's a pocket. You can put a zipper pocket if you want. You can see the thread I use for the lining matches with the bag, so it has a zipper closure and also has a lock. All right, fix the bag. Love this bag. Like this particular bag, on this video on this bag, please do give this video a thumbs up and do not forget to share to people who are interested in bag making. Thank you and have a blessed day. Bye.